The astronauts will have conducted experiments in space. We will have redecorated the bedrooms by Christmas. He will have changed the oil by tomorrow afternoon. He will have walked the puppy twice by tonight. The chef will have prepared a gourmet meal for tonight's event. By this time next year, they will have saved enough money for a vacation. They will have visited their grandparents by next month. I will have baked holiday cookies by 3 p.m. today. He will have replaced the roof by next week. I will have finished this project by Friday. He will have walked the dog by tonight. They will have vacationed in Europe by next August. He will have had his annual physical by next month. She will have sewn Halloween costumes by October 31st. He will have fixed the leaky faucet by this evening. I will have taken online classes by next semester. They will have visited Europe by next fall. By next month, the company will have launched its new website. I will have cleaned the whole house by Saturday. He will have had his car serviced by tomorrow. He will have fixed the leaky roof by next week. I will have graduated high school by next spring. The researchers will have collected enough data by the end of the month. He will have walked the dogs twice by this evening. By the time you arrive, they will have left for their vacation. She will have knitted scarves by next month. She will have gotten her real estate license by 2022. I will have taken physics classes by next semester. She will have baked cookies for the party by Friday afternoon. We will have finished the bathroom remodel by next weekend. He will have installed the new floors by next month. We will have moved to Texas by next spring. They will have celebrated their anniversary by tomorrow. We will have moved into our dream home by September. He will have learned to play the guitar by the end of the month. She will have sewn her dress for the dance by tonight. By this time next year, she will have earned her master's degree. She will have sewn matching dresses for the girls by tonight. They will have completed the renovation by next month. I will have cooked dinner by 6 p.m. tonight. I will have completed all my homework by 11 p.m. We will have purchased a beach house by next winter. I will have run my first half marathon by next fall. We will have bought a new house by next spring. I will have run my first 5K race by next spring. By this time tomorrow, he will have arrived at his destination. He will have changed the oil in both vehicles by Saturday afternoon. 72 She will have written her first novel by next year. We will have moved into our new home by next month. They will have prepared the presentation by tomorrow morning. She will have sewn bridesmaid dresses by the wedding day. We will have purchased a vacation home by next spring. He will have had his physical by next month. He will have changed the oil in the cars by Saturday. By this time next year, they will have graduated from high school. She will have finished knitting the blanket by Tuesday. He will have fixed the leaky faucet by the end of this week. She will have prepared Thanksgiving dinner by 5 p.m. Thursday. She will have become fluent in Spanish by 2023. I will have made dinner for my family by 7 p.m. tonight. She will have mastered Italian by next year. He will have walked the dog twice by this evening. I will have completed my degree by next spring. We will have purchased a beach condo by next year. We will have remodeled the bathroom by next weekend. She will have sewn her dress for the dance by this evening. He will have walked the dogs twice by tonight. He will have installed new windows by next month. I will have finished this project by tomorrow. I will have graduated college by next spring. She will have gotten her real estate license by 2023. She will have mastered conversational Mandarin by 2025. She will have baked cookies for the school party by Friday afternoon. He will have completed the marathon by noon. By the end of the week, she will have written her report. I will have baked cookies for the school party by Friday afternoon. We will have redecorated the living room by the holidays. The team will have won the championship by the end of the season. She will have baked pies by the county fair. He will have changed the oil by Saturday afternoon. He will have installed the new flooring by next week. We will have redecorated by New Year's. I will have graduated college by next June. I will have run 5 miles by this evening. I will have run my first marathon by age 30. We will have purchased a new home by next summer. They will have visited the Grand Canyon by next summer. She will have passed her driving test by the end of the week. The team will have completed the construction project by next month. He will have walked the dogs by this evening. I will have made cupcakes for the party by 3 p.m. He will have fixed the leaking sink by this weekend. I will have cooked a special anniversary dinner by 7 p.m. tonight. I will have graduated college by next year. We will have planted a new garden by next spring. He will have installed new cabinets by next week. I will have read this book by tonight. She will have gotten her real estate license by next fall. They will have seen the new Marvel movie by then. He will have installed hardwood floors by next Tuesday. I will have finished this paper by 11 p.m. tonight. The engineers will have designed the new building by next year. They will have taken a European vacation by next spring. They will have visited all the museums by the end of their trip. She will have learned to play piano by the fall concert. They will have visited Yellowstone National Park by next August. He will have installed new kitchen cabinets by next month. The company will have launched the new product by the end of the quarter. She will have made dinner by 6 p.m. They will have seen the latest Star Wars movie by then. I will have submitted my job application by the end of the day. She will have baked cookies by the party. She will have finished knitting the blanket by next week. I will have baked cupcakes for the school party by 3 p.m. today. She will have baked pies for the county fair by Friday afternoon. I will have cooked dinner by 7 p.m. tonight. She will have sewn her dress for the gala by tonight. She will have knitted baby blankets by next month. We will have purchased a vacation home by next summer. He will have installed new kitchen counters by next week. He will have completed his studies by the end of the year. He will have had his annual physical exam by next month. We will have purchased a bigger house by next spring. I will have made Thanksgiving dinner by 5 p.m. tomorrow. We will have purchased property by next year. She will have baked cookies for the festival by Friday. She will have learned Spanish by the summer. He will have changed the oil in the cars by Saturday afternoon. We will have bought a vacation home by next spring. She will have become fluent in Spanish by 2022. I will have cooked anniversary dinner by 7 p.m. tonight. We will have purchased a vacation home by next winter. I will have baked pies for the fair by Friday. We will have moved into our new apartment by July. She will have become fluent in Italian by next fall. They will have visited Yellowstone by next summer. We will have finished the bathroom remodel by next month. They will have seen the latest Marvel movie by next Sunday. By this time next year, she will have achieved her career goals. They will have flown to Hawaii by August. I will have graduated from law school by next May. He will have installed new countertops by next week. They will have traveled to Europe by next year. She will have learned French by 2021. The students will have taken their final exams by next week. I will have completed my online course by the end of the week. She will have sewn matching bridesmaid dresses by the wedding day. We will have purchased a new house by next summer. They will have seen the newest Star Wars movie by then. He will have fixed the leaking faucet by the end of this week. They will have celebrated their 25th anniversary by tomorrow. She will have prepared dinner for her family by 6 p.m. He will have walked the dog twice by tonight. They will have visited Disney World by next August. They will have visited Yellowstone by next August. We will have moved into our new apartment by August. By this time tomorrow, the team will have won the match. I will have run 10 miles by next month. She will have baked cookies for the party by 4 p.m. She will have finished reading the book by tonight. He will have finished writing his book by the end of the year. He will have finished the book by the end of the day. I will have made cupcakes by the party. The students will have completed the science experiment by the end of the class. I will have cooked Thanksgiving dinner by 4 p.m. today. By tomorrow evening, they will have celebrated their anniversary. We will have redecorated the living room by New Year's Eve. He will have completed the marathon in a few hours. She will have baked pies for the fair by Friday afternoon. She will have learned Italian by the time she visits Rome. She will have learned to play piano by the winter concert. He will have had a physical exam by tomorrow. I will have baked pies for the county fair by Friday afternoon. She will have graduated from university by next year. They will have vacationed in Europe by next fall. He will have changed the oil in the vehicles by Saturday afternoon. I will have completed my training by the end of the month. I will have taken calculus classes by next year. They will have taken a trip to Italy by next year. They will have seen the latest Star Wars movie by next Friday. They will have seen the latest Marvel movie by then. I will have baked cupcakes for the bake sale by Friday afternoon. The chefs will have cooked a 5-course meal for the event. They will have celebrated their anniversary by then. I will have baked cookies for the school party by 3 p.m. today. They will have visited their grandparents by next weekend. I will have run my first 5K by next year. I will have completed this degree by next spring. She will have baked pies for the fair by next Friday. We will have bought a new car by the end of this year. They will have gone to Disney World by next month. He will have fixed the car by this weekend. She will have completed her training by the end of the week. We will have finished remodeling the bathroom by next weekend. She will have learned to play guitar by the winter concert. We will have solved the puzzle by the end of the day. They will have celebrated their 25th anniversary by then. He will have repaired the car by this weekend. He will have fixed the leaking sink by the end of this week. I will have completed this project by next Tuesday. She will have mastered conversational Spanish by 2023. They will have celebrated Valentine's Day by tomorrow. She will have become fluent in Mandarin Chinese by 2023. She will have learned to play guitar by next fall. She will have sewn matching Halloween costumes by October 31st. I will have learned to play the piano by the end of the year. They will have vacationed in Hawaii by next summer. I will have graduated law school by next year. They will have repaired the roof before it starts raining. We will have remodeled the living room by next spring. He will have walked the puppy by this evening. We will have finished decorating the house by tomorrow. The team will have finished the project before the deadline. I will have learned a new language by the end of the semester. We will have bought a new RV by next spring. He will have repaired the car engine by this weekend. By the end of the month, she will have visited all the tourist attractions. They will have completed the marathon in a few hours. I will have cooked Thanksgiving dinner by 5 p.m. tomorrow. They will have gone to Disney World by August. She will have knitted the baby blanket by next month. I will have baked cupcakes for the party by 3 p.m. today. They will have completed the project by next week. They will have seen the latest Marvel movie by next weekend. We will have bought a house by this time next year. I will have graduated law school by next spring. They will have visited the Grand Canyon by next August. We will have painted the baby's room by next weekend. We will have finished the bathroom remodel by next spring. We will have bought a vacation home by next winter. By the end of the month, I will have saved enough money for a vacation. They will have seen the newest Star Wars movie by next Friday. She will have knitted a blanket by next month. He will have installed the new countertops by next month. We will have redecorated the living room by New Year's. We will have remodeled the kitchen by next month. By next month, the team will have achieved its sales target. She will have prepared Thanksgiving dinner by 5 p.m. They will have seen the new Star Wars movie by next Friday. He will have mowed the lawn by tonight. By tomorrow, I will have finished my assignment. I will have run my first 10K by next fall. The researchers will have published their findings by the end of the year. I will have made cupcakes by the bake sale. We will have finished the kitchen remodel by April. I will have run 5 miles by tomorrow morning. By the end of the month, the team will have won the championship. She will have baked cakes for the bake sale by Friday. She will have become fluent in Spanish by 2021. He will have had a physical exam by next month. They will have found a new apartment by next month. We will have moved into our new house by September. I will have finished my work by the end of the week. He will have changed the oil in both cars by Saturday afternoon. He will have walked the puppy by tonight. She will have mastered Italian by next fall. She will have gotten her real estate license by next year. They will have vacationed in Hawaii by next August. She will have made dinner for her family by 6:30 p.m. He will have installed new hardwood floors by next week. She will have sewn costumes by opening night. We will have finished renovating by next spring. We will have finished cleaning the house by noon. By this time tomorrow, they will have reached their destination. We will have moved across the country by next fall. The students will have presented their projects by the end of the day. By next month, she will have traveled to 5 different countries. She will have made Thanksgiving dinner by 5 p.m. She will have mastered French by next fall. I will have run my first marathon by next spring. He will have changed the oil in the car by Saturday. They will have finished the construction of the house by next month. We will have moved into our new house by next July. He will have mowed the lawn by this evening. I will have run my longest race by next spring. We will have moved across the country by July. The construction workers will have completed the building by the end of the year. She will have baked dozens of cookies by tonight. I will have run my first 10K race by next year. He will have remodeled the bathroom by next month. She will have knitted a scarf by Tuesday. She will have prepared Thanksgiving dinner by 5 p.m. next Thursday. He will have fixed the car by this afternoon. We will have redecorated for the holidays by December. They will have moved to a new house by next month. We will have finished remodeling the kitchen by next month. The chef will have prepared a delicious dessert for the guests. She will have knitted a blanket by next week. He will have had a physical by next month. We will have moved into our new home by September. We will have purchased a beach house by next spring. They will have celebrated their 50th anniversary by then. He will have walked the dog by this evening. He will have repaired the leaky roof by next weekend. We will have finished the kitchen remodel by next month. We will have renovated the kitchen by next month. By the end of the day, they will have finished their presentation. We will have bought a larger house by next June. He will have walked the dogs by noon today. She will have mastered conversational Mandarin by 2024. She will have become fluent in French by 2024. They will have seen the latest Star Wars by then. She will have sewn her dress by tonight. I will have baked pies for the fair by Friday afternoon. She will have baked apple pies for the fair by Friday. We will have bought an RV by next spring. The kids will have finished their homework by evening. I will have graduated by next May. I will have taken online college classes by next semester. She will have made holiday treats by Christmas Eve. I will have taken calculus classes by junior year. They will have visited Yellowstone National Park by next summer. I will have taken calculus classes by next semester. I will have baked pies for the county fair by Friday. He will have installed the new kitchen counters by next Tuesday. We will have redecorated by the holidays. She will have sewn matching bridesmaid dresses by the wedding. She will have prepared the holiday dinner by 5 p.m. tomorrow. We will have redecorated by the end of the year. They will have traveled to Italy by next fall. By the end of the day, I will have completed all the pending tasks. He will have installed new flooring by next month. I will have run a marathon by my 30th birthday. He will have fixed the leaking roof by next week. I will have graduated law school by next May. I will have completed my assignment by Friday. She will have mastered conversational French by next fall. He will have fixed the car's AC by this weekend. He will have repaired the car by tomorrow morning. They will have celebrated their 60th anniversary by then. They will have finished packing for their vacation by tomorrow. By this time tomorrow, he will have reached his destination. I will have cooked dinner for my family by 7 p.m. I will have baked holiday cookies by Christmas Eve. I will have cooked dinner for tonight by 7 p.m. I will have graduated from college by this time next year. I will have made dinner by 7 o'clock tonight. They will have finished their presentation before the meeting. She will have mastered conversational Spanish by 2024. They will have gone to Disney World by next August. He will have installed the new cabinets by next month. He will have installed new kitchen counters by next Tuesday. They will have seen the new Marvel movie by next Sunday. They will have traveled to Italy by next summer. We will have finished the puzzle by the end of the day. She will have made dinner for the family by 6 p.m. They will have vacationed in Hawaii by next fall. I will have finished this assignment by 11 p.m. tonight. I will have run my first marathon by next fall. He will have repaired the leaking roof by next weekend. By this time next month, We will have traveled to 3 different countries. She will have knitted scarves and hats by next week. He will have walked the puppy twice by this evening. We will have moved to Texas by next March. I will have cooked dinner for my family by 7 p.m. tonight. We will have celebrated our friend's birthday by tonight. We will have painted the house by this weekend. We will have remodeled the kitchen by the end of the month. The artists will have painted a beautiful mural by next week. We will have achieved our sales target by the end of the quarter. They will have celebrated their 10th anniversary by then. We will have reached our destination by midnight. They will have seen the latest Star Wars movie by next Sunday. He will have fixed the car's AC by next weekend. By the time you arrive, I will have prepared dinner. I will have graduated high school by June. I will have cooked Thanksgiving dinner by 4 p.m. We will have redecorated the bedrooms by the holidays. I will have bought a new laptop by next month. We will have moved into our new condo by July. We will have purchased a vacation home by next year. We will have finished the kitchen remodel by spring. We will have moved into our new place by August. He will have changed the oil in both cars by tomorrow. I will have made cupcakes for the bake sale by Friday. They will have seen the new Star Wars movie by next Sunday. They will have seen the latest Star Wars movie by next weekend. She will have become fluent in French by 2023. We will have purchased a beach house by next summer. They will have traveled to Peru by next summer. They will have seen the latest Marvel movie by next week. I will have run a 5K race by next weekend. The company will have launched its new product by next week. We will have moved into our new apartment by next week. She will have sewn her prom dress by tonight. We will have purchased a new house by next spring. I will have cooked a special dinner by 7 p.m. tonight. We will have moved into our new condo by August. She will have mastered Spanish by 2021. She will have written her first novel by next year. The students will have submitted their assignments by tomorrow. She will have learned acoustic guitar by next winter. The company will have released its new product by next week. They will have finished building the bridge by next year. She will have learned to play tennis by next summer. They will have seen the new Star Wars movie by then. He will have installed the new countertops by next week. I will have called my mother by this afternoon. They will have vacationed in Europe by next summer. We will have bought a new house by spring. They will have written the report by the end of the day. She will have become fluent in Italian by next year. We will have bought a house by the end of this year. I will have run 10 miles by tomorrow morning. We will have redecorated for the holidays by December 31st. We will have moved into our new home by July. We will have been dating for 6 months on our anniversary celebration. By next fall, I will have been playing the piano for 10 years. By next summer, he will have been learning to swim for 6 months. My grandparents will have been living in Florida for 30 years next month. We will have been living in this city for a decade by next summer. When Jane publishes her first novel, she will have been writing for over a decade. By next year, I will have been studying French for 5 years. By Christmas, my grandma will have been knitting scarves for 60 years straight. Come New Year's Eve, we will have been together as a couple for exactly 1 year. By the time I turn 30, I will have been working at this company for over 5 years. By tomorrow, I will have been waiting for an hour. We will have been driving for hours by the time we reach our holiday destination. By the end of the day, he will have been coding for 8 hours straight. My parents will have been married for 35 blissful years by their next anniversary. I will have been refreshing my email for an hour before the decision comes in. That tree will have been growing in my backyard for a decade come springtime. I will have been training intensely for months by the time I run my first marathon. They will have been practicing yoga for 6 months before the retreat. The team will have been playing together for a season before the playoffs. Come New Year's Eve, Marie and Dan will have been a couple for exactly 1 year. We will have been dating for 3 years before we finally move in together. By tomorrow, I will have been practicing the guitar for 5 days straight. They will have been saving for their dream home for 5 years by next spring. By next month, he will have been working at this company for 5 years. The couple will have been engaged for 2 years before finally tying the knot. They will have been traveling the world for a year by the time they return home. Come tomorrow, we will have been on this road trip for 2 straight weeks. By next winter, she will have been skiing for 2 decades. When James publishes his novel, he will have been writing it for over 5 years. She will have been teaching at the university for 30 years by the time she retires. She will have been working as a chef for 10 years by the end of the decade. My nephew will have been walking for a year by his next birthday. She will have been acting professionally for 5 years when she gets her big break. When I finish this project, I will have been working on it non-stop for a month. Come springtime, the flowers will have been blooming for weeks. By tomorrow, we will have been traveling for 30 hours straight. He will have been studying for the exam for a month by the time it takes place. By the end of the day, he will have been repairing cars for 8 hours. By the time John turns 40, he will have been snowboarding for over 20 years. By graduation day, we will have been waiting to leave high school for 4 long years. We will have been waiting for the results for 2 weeks by the end of this month. Sarah will have been dating Dan for over a year when he proposes to her. I will have been painting for 6 months before my first exhibition. When I graduate, I will have been studying for my degree for the past 5 years. By the time the movie ends, we will have been watching for 3 hours. My brother will have been playing guitar for 12 years when he joins a band. I will have been waiting for the package all day. I will have been studying for this exam for 2 weeks before I feel ready. She will have been recovering from the surgery for a month by her birthday. Come New Year's, I will have been going to the gym consistently for 6 months. I will have been trying to call my friend for days before finally reaching her. She will have been writing songs since she was 15 before releasing her first album. By the time she retires, Sue will have been teaching for an impressive 30 years. She will have been teaching at the school for 5 years on her work anniversary. She will have been writing the screenplay for 6 months by the end of the year. By the wedding, the bride will have been planning it for over 12 stressful months. We will have been dating for 6 months on our anniversary. They will have been preparing for the presentation all morning. The team will have been training hard all season to win the championship. By tomorrow, he will have been running his own business for 5 years. I will have been reading this book for a month before I finally get to the end. They will have been renovating the house for 6 months when they finally move in. By the next Olympics, she will have been training as a gymnast for a decade. Dad will have been growing tomatoes in the garden for 20 summers by next year. When Jim visits home, he will have been away at college for 4 life-changing years. When the season starts, the team will have been training together for 5 years. Sam will have been looking for a job for 9 weeks when he finally gets an offer. He will have been working as a chef for 10 years on his culinary anniversary. Come New Year's, Marie and John will have been a couple for exactly 12 months. By the end of the year, we will have been saving money for a family vacation. She will have been waiting for her friend at the station for an hour. Come New Year's Eve, Marcy and John will have been dating for a year exactly. The team will have been working together for a season before the playoffs. By spring break, we will have been in school for 8 unending months. We will have been living in this neighborhood for a year soon. I will have been training every day for months by the time I run my first marathon. By the time my car loan is paid off, I will have been paying it for 6 long years. When Tim gets his medal, he will have been training intensely for 2 grueling years. Jane will have been practicing yoga for 10 years by the time she becomes a teacher. The team will have been practicing every day for 6 months when playoffs start. Come New Year's Day, I will have been training for the marathon daily for 6 months. She will have been waiting for the package all day long. I will have been training daily for months by the time I run my first 5K race. I will have been living in this city for a decade next year. The team will have been training hard for the championship for several months. Tom will have been driving for 6 years before he finally buys a new car. When I get back from vacation, I will have been traveling for 2 straight weeks. By Christmas Day, Mom will have been baking holiday cookies for 6 straight weeks. By next week, he will have been preparing for the interview for a month. By Valentine's Day, Lisa and Mark will have been married for 20 wonderful years. I will have been nervously waiting for my name to be called for over an hour. Come New Year's Eve, Dan and Marie will have been dating for exactly 1 year. We will have been friends for a decade by our high school reunion. The chef will have been cooking in this restaurant for 10 years soon. We will have been traveling for a month when we finally reach our destination. The suspect will have been on the run from police for 5 days before getting caught. We will have been studying for the test all night long. They will have been renovating the house for weeks when they finally move in. The students will have been learning online for a year by the end of the pandemic. They will have been working on the project for months before it's ready. She will have been campaigning for 6 months by the time election day arrives. When Timmy goes to college, he will have been living at home for 18 years. She will have been recovering from the surgery for 2 weeks by her birthday. Come spring break, I will have been studying non-stop for months. By the end of the week, he will have been traveling for a month straight. My parents will have been happily married for 40 years by their ruby anniversary. By tomorrow evening, they will have been driving for 12 hours straight. Come spring break, the students will have been studying non-stop for months on end. We will have been waiting in line for an hour before the doors finally open. When prom comes around, the girls will have been dress shopping for weeks. We will have been friends for 5 years on our friendship anniversary. When I turn 50, my parents will have been married for 35 wonderful years. Sarah and Tom will have been together for 2 years when he asks her to marry him. I will have been training daily for months by the time I run my first marathon. When the album drops, the band will have been working on it tirelessly for 3 years. Come July, my parents will have been happily married for 35 wonderful years. When I finish this movie, I will have been watching it for nearly 3 hours. They will have been running the marathon for 5 hours before they finish. They will have been rehearsing for the play for 10 weeks by the opening night. They will have been studying for the exam for 2 weeks by Friday. Grandpa will have been gardening for 60 years by his next birthday. We will have been saving money for the vacation for a year before we go. They will have been designing the new product for 6 months by its release. When I get married, my fiancé and I will have been together for 5 blissful years. Come summer vacation, the kids will have been in school for 9 long months. I will have been asleep for 10 hours by the time my alarm goes off in the morning. By her 16th birthday, Sue will have been figure skating for 10 years. Come tomorrow morning, I will have been lying awake thinking for hours. Come spring break, we will have been stuck in classes for 8 straight months. By next summer, he will have been studying architecture for 6 semesters. Come spring, we will have been living in this tiny apartment for 3 long winters. When prom comes around, the students will have been planning for months. Come April, Sue will have been working at the library for a full decade. They will have been volunteering at the shelter for 6 months next week. By graduation, she will have been studying chemistry for 4 challenging years. We will have been driving all night before we finally reach the beach at dawn. By next winter, he will have been snowboarding for 10 years. She will have been practicing the piano for 5 years next month. He will have been running his own business for 5 years by next month. We will have been volunteering at the community center for a year by next month. They will have been planning their wedding for months before the big day. By next week, she will have been working at that company for 2 years. Come next season, our team will have been losing for 5 straight years. When Jack visits his parents, he will have been away from home for 5 lonely years. By the time I pay off my student loans, I will have been paying them for decades. They will have been living in that city for a decade when they decide to move. The students will have been studying for the test all night long. When he graduates college, our son will have been studying for 4 intense years. She will have been painting the mural for several hours when you arrive. When Sarah publishes her novel, she will have been writing it for nearly a decade. We will have been attending the same school for 5 years by graduation day. When I turn 25, my best friend and I will have known each other for 15 years. By the final match, the team will have been practicing daily for 6 months straight. By the time I finish this book, I will have been reading it for over a month. She will have been training for the marathon for 4 months by race day. The students will have been studying for the exam all night before the test day. The child will have been going to school for 5 years by the end of the term. The athlete will have been training daily for 5 years by the next Olympics. I will have been living in this city for 5 years by the time I turn 30. By next month, we will have been dating long distance for a year. The students will have been studying all night for the important exam. By the time Sue earns her PhD, she will have been in school for 8 long years. When Jack visits his family, he will have been away from home for 5 lonely years. By the end of the month, I will have been working here for a year. She will have been jogging every morning for a month by her birthday. By next month, he will have been studying English for 6 years. They will have been developing the software for several months before its release. The team will have been training hard all year for the championship game. We will have been practicing the dance routine for weeks before the competition. James will have been playing baseball since he was 5 years old when he turns pro. Tim and Ann will have been married for 35 years when they take a second honeymoon. By tomorrow, he will have been running this business for 5 years. My son will have been playing soccer for 10 years by his 18th birthday. By next month, he will have been living in that apartment for 2 years. When Sally visits home, she will have been away at college for 4 lonely years. They will have been practicing mindfulness for 3 months before the retreat. When spring comes, the birds will have been migrating south for 3 long months. We will have been preparing for the exam all week before it takes place. She will have been traveling abroad for a year by the time she visits 10 countries. When Sam turns 30, he and his partner will have been together for half their lives. Mark will have been working at the company for 15 years when he gets promoted. When the movie comes out, the actors will have been filming it for over a year. By the time I graduate, I will have been attending this school for 12 long years. We will have been saving money for our dream vacation by summer. By tomorrow, they will have been hiking in the mountains for 3 days straight. She will have been working as a nurse for 5 years by her anniversary. We will have been hiking for 6 hours before we reach the summit. He will have been living in that house for a decade by the time he moves out. She will have been learning to play the piano for a year by her recital. By next week, he will have been writing the novel for 9 months. The team will have been playing together for a decade soon. The couple will have been married for 40 years on their next anniversary. Before Sam starts his new job, he will have been unemployed for 9 months. When spring arrives, the robins will have been gone for 3 cold winter months. By the end of the semester, she will have been teaching the course for 10 years. When Jenny has her baby, she will have been pregnant for 9 anxious months. He will have been waiting for the bus for half an hour. We will have been planning the event for weeks before it takes place. By the end of the month, he will have been working on this novel for 3 years. She will have been traveling the world for a year by the time she returns home. By next week, he will have been attending the university for a full semester. She will have been pursuing her dream job for a decade when she finally gets it. I will have been working at my new job for 3 weeks before getting time off.